Snow will be here before we know it. With snow comes snow plowing. Here are some important points we want you to know. The clubhouse parking lot and Priority 1 streets are for the entire community and are plowed before we go to any contracted residence. During a storm, everyone must remain patient. Don't worry, we will get to you. Calling staff will not help the big picture. The more we have to take phone calls, the longer the process. We will communicate our plans and efforts through email and the snow line. Every storm is different. Our ultimate goal is to push snow curb to curb. The HOA has 24 hours to finish all streets, streetscapes, and common sidewalks once the storm has ended. During extreme snow events, the 24-hour requirement may be waived by the City of Aurora. We do not plow if the snowfall is 2 inches or less. Crews work incredibly hard, often starting in the middle of the night. Crews will be out on the roadways as soon as possible. For safety, do not try to flag down a worker trying to clear snow. They may not be able to see you. If a storm is coming, please make sure you are well stocked with food, water, and medicine. Cancel doctors and any other appointments if necessary. We wanted to show you how we plow and why we plow the way we do. But first, a little background. The community has 15 miles of streets. When plowing, we have to go down each street in both directions. So we're really plowing 30 miles of streets and 30 miles of sidewalks. Most of our streets we do 2 passes, but some we have to do more. There are nearly 1,500 resident units that need to be attended to, as well as the clubhouse. Streets are plowed according to priorities. There are 3 priorities. To see which streets are which priority, refer to the priority maps online or at the clubhouse. Now let me show you how we do it. Priority 1 streets are plowed first. This is Heritage Parkway. This is a Priority 1 street. Priority 1 streets were selected because they are major thoroughfares. When plowing Priority 1 streets, or all streets, we start in the middle of the road and push to the curb. As you can see, it takes several passes for me to open up Heritage Parkway. Probably at least 4 passes on this particular road, maybe up to 6 depending on the amount of snow. You can see what limited space I have if there's vehicles parked in the street, trash cans out on the road. Really limits the work or the amount of work we're able to do. We plow curb to curb for 2 reasons. First being safety of our residents, and second for drainage. If we didn't push to the curb, we would have ice build up in the center. If we had a berm of snow down the center of the street, the freezing and thawing on a daily basis and nightly basis would create huge ice layers or sheet of streets and ice. As you can see, I'm in the center line, pushing to the curb, only addressing the one side of the street. To make sure we get this entire street cleaned, take several passes down the right-hand side and several passes down the left-hand side in the opposite direction to clear the street. As we come up to a parked vehicle, how we have to maneuver around the vehicle, it can tend to be very difficult. Make sure that we don't hit any passenger or residents' vehicles. It's very difficult to see where my equipment is unless you have these large reflectors on the end of the plow blade. It gives me an idea where my plow and my equipment is versus the street. This is Algonquin Circle. This is a Priority 2 street. Priority 2 streets are much narrower, so it's too difficult to get big equipment in. Smaller equipment is brought in once Priority 1 streets are open. These roads are a little narrower and not as accessible for the larger trucks. That's why we bring in smaller trucks to go through some of these smaller cul-de-sacs of Priority 2s and 3s. It's also very difficult to maneuver those large vehicles in the small cul-de-sacs. Backing up, you can't see. Again, you can see the width of the streets versus the width of the plow. It takes several passes. in each direction to clear the streets curb to curb. We're in the middle of the street, pushing to the right, and turning around, coming back, pushing to the left side, opening the street up curb to curb. This is a circle or roundabout, priority 2. When we come into situations like this, we try to pull all the snow away from the curb and the driveways instead of pushing the whole circle into the driveways. We try to create a pile in the middle of this cul-de-sac or this roundabout. So we start on the perimeter, pulling away from mailboxes and the driveway ends, and continue to go inward several passes to open up a clear and safe passage off the driveway. And this is our first pass, and then my second pass, I can bring it inward. What happens when there's a lot of snow sometimes is that I'll be pushing so much snow inward that a lot of the tailings will come off the right side of the plow. And in that case, I have to bring in bobcats or loaders to help move it inward again and create a pile in the middle of this cul-de-sac. Then priority 3 streets. This is Biloxi Court at Heritage North. Examples of priority 3 streets are the Horseshoes, Hammerheads, and Tees. Obviously you can see how narrow this street is. The width of the plow is almost half of the street. But if there's a vehicle or any kind of obstruction in this street, it's very difficult to clear it curb to curb. You can see I'm running the center of the street. Probably have to make at least 2 or 3 more passes to clear it curb to curb. This is what we call a T or a hammerhead, where the road comes to a dead end. So snow is either pushed straight ahead into the yard, or I have to angle the blade as I come through to the left and pull everything off away from the driveways and push it to the other side of the street. So I'm starting here on the right hand side, have to push all the snow. It's very difficult for the landscaping, driveway access. So then I back up using rear view mirrors. Very difficult to see street, cars, the street, mailboxes. We hope this video has been informative for you. Thank you for watching. We are proud to serve you.